Jen.
And I'm Joe.
And we're Jen and Joe
on the go. How are you, Jen?
I'm good. How are you, Joey?
I'm doing great. Having my Glenlivet. We're sitting here chatting about the wonderful time we had at Xcaret Arte in Mexico.
In Playa del Carmen, Mexico, to be exact.
Yes.
It is a 900 suite resort, and it's adults only.
Not the Arte side.
It is 900. It's 900, as is the resort in Mexico.
Oh, Arte's 900 too?
Yes, it is the exact same layout.
Okay, just learned something. Thank you for the knowledge.
You're welcome.
But they are expanding the Mexico side.
They are.
So the Xcaret Arte Mexico side is the main side that is for families. It's everybody. But Arte is just adults
And Joe
only.
will link that playlist in the description below in case anyone would like to check out our time there last March in 2023.
Yes.
It was absolutely phenomenal. We wanted to go back, but decided to give the adults only side a try.
Yes.
And I'm so glad we did, because it was just as amazing as the Mexico side.
There are differences, but overall, the overall impression to me on the Arte adults only side was that it just seemed quieter and more remote. The way the resort is set up, you have... there's going to be a video that I'm going to publish that has a full resort tour, but in the middle of it is the spiral. So you've got the church at the top of the spiral stairs that go up, or ramp that goes up. So that church is the main focal point. When you go up there, you could see everything, including the ocean. So that's right in the middle. On this side is Xcaret Mexico, and this side is Arte. So when you look at all that, you think, okay, well, that's the center. You look at both sides, big, beautiful, gorgeous, the way they did everything. But despite the fact that Arte is that close to the Mexico side, Arte seemed more remote, quiet, and I guess that was the feel that they wanted to try to present, this feeling of remoteness. It's quiet, it's calm. The building we were in is the Casa de la Paz, and it's where the spa is. And it was the one that's furthest removed from everything else, even though it wasn't far from everything, but it was quiet and calm.
So each building is a different art casa.
Yes.
So there's like a Casa Artis and a Casa Music. We were in Casa de la Paz,
which is peace.
Paz. Yes. So let's start talking about the room first.
Yes.
We had a garden view spa suite. It was absolutely amazing. The most comfortable bed I've ever slept on. We will include pictures at the end of this video. And like I said, we're going to do a whole resort tour where we will show you everything. But just our impressions of the room, it was big. It had a table and chairs. It had a sleeper couch. It had a king bed, a full bathroom. And because we had a spa room, it had a sauna in the shower, and it had a hot tub outside.
Which the sauna was kind of funny because outside was kind of warm and humid. So you go into the shower and you want to create something warm and humid. But when you go into the shower, you're already kind of sweaty and gross. So we didn't use it. I used it once, but it's a nice feature to have. And then the hot tub, or the jacuzzi tub, not hot tub, but the jacuzzi tub, big stone jacuzzi tub out on the balcony, was beautiful.
It was absolutely amazing, with a hammock out on the patio and table and chairs. It was absolutely stunning. We felt so comfortable, and we had so much space. The hotel also provides everything from your toothbrush and toothpaste to shaving cream and razors.
Yeah. Our room was at the very, very end, so we only had one neighbor next to us. So we were at the very, very end, so it was so quiet. It was so quiet.
And we had just paid for a garden view, and we were upgraded to the garden view spa, which was, it was just a very nice touch. And we love the room. Can't say enough good things about it.
Right, I agree. There was not one negative thing about that room whatsoever. Not only was the room beautiful, the bed was amazingly comfortable.
It was like sleeping on clouds.
We had
super soft
turn down service every day, cleaning service every day.
Twice a day. They would come clean our room twice a day.
They had snacks and drinks in the refrigerator that they would replenish every day.
Every day.
So no complaints with any of that at all. I thought
10 out of 10.
To go back just a moment, when we got to the airport and you get through your baggage claim, there's a representative there. They have a lounge. because they have bus service that takes you from the airport to the resort.
Yes.
That was really
Round-trip
very
transfers.
nice. They offered snacks and drinks. Then when we got to the resort, the check-in process was very smooth.
They also greet you with a cold towel
Yeah.
and an ice cream.
Yes, the little ice cream on a stick, which they do that on both sides. Then they walked us to the room. They actually walked us to the room.
They actually walked us to the reception desk
Yes.
to check in, and then someone else walked us to our room and then had our luggage delivered.
The difference with Arte versus the Xcaret Mexico side is that the check-in is kind of a little deeper in, so you would be lost if you tried to find it on your own.
That's true.
So they escorted you to that check-in process, whereas on the Mexico side,
It's right centrally located.
Yeah, it was right there, kind of
yeah.
in that main lobby area. But once we got to the room, they brought the bags. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So the room itself, not one negative thing about it.
No. Okay, now going to the food. There are so many restaurants on this property that I can't possibly name them all in this video, but I will say there is a coffee shop. There is a tons of bars, a specialty bar called VIP. There are fine dining experiences that are included in your stay that have prefix menus from award-winning Michelin star chefs from Mexico. The food was spectacular. It is all included except for the couple specialty restaurants that are an upcharge that you can only access if you are staying club level. Thought the food was amazing.
Yeah.
Did not have one bad meal.
There were certain items on certain menus at different places that were not as good as other things, but that's just a personal preference and taste. Like, you don't really like eating duck. So that was one thing. But overall, the food quality was excellent. The service, excellent.
10 out of 10 for all the food that we had. The coffee shop, you can go in and get a latte, a mocha, a chai tea. It is all included with your stay.
Yeah. They had different treats and
Pastries.
sandwiches, pastries,
Salads,
fruit,
fresh fruit.
salad. Yeah, all that at the
Yes.
coffee shop, which is right off the main lobby. But then you have the VIP bar, you have the different restaurants. There's also the nighttime kind of speakeasy, El Deseo, which was really cool to kind of how it was hidden and in the back by the garage, and you got these red lights that you have to follow to get to it. So it was pretty cool the way they presented that.
Yeah.
So overall, the food was excellent. Even
10 out of 10.
Even the buffet, their main buffet that they have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they had different food items that you go around.
The Mercado.
The Mercado. The food there was just excellent. It was really, really good. It was very good. I don't have any complaints about any of the food whatsoever. It was all really good.
It was 10 out of 10. Everything was served in a timely manner, but like enough time between courses where you weren't like, where's our food?
Right.
But it wasn't rushed.
Right.
Everything was fresh. There's a vegan restaurant that we tried. It was just, I can't say anything bad about the food.
No. It was all good. All good.
Okay. Pools. There's a couple rooftop bars and there's the main pool. We visited one of the rooftop bars and the main pool.
Bar pool.
Again, very clean.
Well,
the main pool after we were there during Hurricane Helene. It was a tropical storm at that point, going towards Florida. So the pool did get a little dirty after that, but I mean, nothing that.
So if there was any complaint I had, it was that. So you had different rooftop pools. We did the Casa de la Musica. We did that rooftop pool. We didn't do the others, but the one day, that Thursday that we were there, we did that pool, which was just a ridiculously amazing day. We had a cabana.
We had the drink service. It was all included. It was fabulous.
God. Yeah. But the main pool, which is just the main pool, it's kind of separated into different sections. So you've got the first section, the second section, and then the main pool that wraps around the bar. So
that's like the infinity pool. It seems like it's going on forever and ever.
So I felt like the chairs that were in that first section of the pool, so 1, 2, and then the pool that wraps around the bar. So that first section, they didn't seem to have a lot of cleaning filters going.
Yes.
So there were, and that area had a lot of bushes and trees around there. So there were a lot of leaves in that pool. And again, like you said, after Helene came by, the tropical storm at that point before, well, it was still a hurricane, but where we were located, it was tropical storm winds. The wind speed was more tropical storm. But anyway, the pool itself, I wish it was a little cleaner. I wish they had a filtration system that cleaned some of that stuff out better. So that would be my only criticism. And it's not even a complaint, but it was more of a criticism.
I mean, I don't want you guys to think it was filthy because it was totally
just a lot
fine.
of leaves.
The resort itself, and we will show that in our full resort tour. There's a lot of lush green vegetation, trees everywhere.
Yes.
So I mean, the leaves are gonna fall.
Right.
It's just how it is.
Right. Yeah. When you're at a resort that is just basically a building on a beach, you don't have a lot of trees around.
Yeah.
This is very much in the jungle. They kept the trees.
Yeah.
And
they
the
built
landscape.
the resort into the landscape instead of the landscape being built into the resort.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, and that is what it is with it. But overall, I say the pools were still really beautiful, especially that day that we spent at Casa de la Musica up there on the rooftop. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good day.
They were all good days.
Yeah.
So next thing we're going to talk about are the eco parks. When you stay at an Xcaret resort, Xcaret Mexico or Xcaret Arte, you get full access to the ecological parks, which is kind of Mexico's version of Disney World.
Yeah.
And I say that loosely. They're more adventurous parks. You can do things like ATVing, zip lines, water slides. It's stuff like that. So you have to be an adventurous person. You have to you have to be active. That there's a lot of walking in these parks. There's a lot of wildlife in these parks. But we visited the same parks that we did back in Mexico because they were the closest parks when we stayed at Xcaret Mexico Resort. And we had the best time.
Yes.
We had so much fun, and the round trip transfers to the parks are included in your stay.
Right.
If you stay in Mexico and you go to visit these parks, it's about $125 to $150 per person to visit one park. So,
but that's
right.
included with your stay,
Right.
so you don't pay extra for any one of these stays.
And
or
the
any one of
buses
these parks.
come pretty regularly.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever had to wait long for a bus.
I think Xcaret Explore Fuego, when we were there that night, we waited like maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But
no big deal.
So the different parks offer different things, and each one is a lot of fun. So there's options that you have. If you want to stay at the resort and go to the beach or stay at the pool and eat and drink all day, you can do that. But if you want to break it up a little bit and go to one of the parks.
And that's what we did.
Well, yeah. So we had a really nice time going to each one of these parks. We went to Explore, Senses, and girls are leaving. Bye.
Oh.
They're leaving.
And to Xcaret Park.
And Xcaret, Explore, and Senses.
Yes.
So each one of the parks offers different things, which they were all fun. They were all,
At one of the parks, we sat on the beach and drank pina coladas.
Yeah,
At another park, we rode ATVs at night.
Oh, that was so much fun.
In the dark,
Oh my God.
and the paths were lighted by fire. It was an amazing experience, and we
The
had
other park,
so
we did
much
zip
fun.
lining like Superman.
Yeah.
So, and then we walked around with wet water shoes that cause blisters on
Yeah,
my feet.
you have to
That's a
wear
whole
water
nother story.
shoes at these parks, but that's a whole other thing.
The parks were great. Really enjoyed it. It's nice to have that as an option.
And we saw capybaras.
Oh my goodness. And your trash pandas.
And my trash pandas.
You saw trash pandas and capybaras.
I was complete.
Yep, that was it. There
Okay,
you go.
so the resort itself, it was built into the landscaping,
Yeah,
and
like we said.
It's a huge resort. There's 900 suites. I think there's at least 10 restaurants. Too many bars to count. It's just absolutely stunning. I can't say enough good things about the resort
Yeah.
itself. I can't wait to show you our resort tour, because I know it's really hard to picture something when someone's just talking about it, but it was amazing. 10 out of 10 recommend.
Yeah, I'll put that video together. That's going to be a lot of work because I shot a lot of footage of the resort because I walked around the entire thing. And now that this is the second time we've been there, I personally have a very distinct, good idea of where things are located. I have a blueprint in my head, a map in my head on where everything is located. But this is after two times visiting. When we got there initially in March of 23, and this time,
I mean, it is huge.
It's big, and it's a little confusing because it's not just, oh, here's this, and here's this, and here's this.
Everything is tucked away, and not obvious because it just blends into the nature of the resort.
So you take this curve. We didn't realize, as an example, we went down to the beach and walked around there's kind of like an intercoastal. So there's the beach and then there's the intercoastal where the water comes into like a lagoon. And as we're walking, we didn't realize how close Arte was to Xcaret, Mexico. And so that's what I'm saying. There's just so much to it that you don't realize until you're there a little bit. Now that we've been there twice, I'm very familiar with it, and I want to try to put the video together so that it'll present it in a way.
There's suspension bridges, and there's water features, and just lush greenery and art just all over the resort. Giant sculptures and paintings on the buildings. And
the thing I can recommend is that when you go, just try to look for landmarks so that way you can remember where certain things are. They, especially on the Arte side, they have different statues all over. So you can actually use that as landmarks so that way you'll know where you need to go or where things are located.
Yeah, but it took us a good 2.5 days to get the lay of the land.
Yeah.
And then we were like, it clicked and we were able to find everything pretty easily. But it does take a bit to get oriented.
How do we get to this? Yeah. Where's Tashido? I have no idea.
There was one night for dinner. It was our first night where we walked around and around and around because we just
Where is this damn place?
Couldn't get our bearings.
Yeah.
And we were with the besties, Ariane and Steve. And I would totally go back to this place in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so going back to the food and the restaurants, there's at least 10 of them. There's the VIP lounge, which you can get things like drinks and guacamole and tostados. There's the coffee shop, which we already discussed. There's a sushi restaurant. It's
like a Mexico-Japanese kind of fusion.
Yes.
Where you have two sides to it, where you can sit at a table and do your sushi, but then there's also the hibachi side where we did both. And the hibachi grill is a typical, hibachi grill where they cook everything in front of you, but wow, there was so much food.
There's the Mercado Market, which is just this huge space.
And that's the buffet type thing.
That has everything from fresh fruit and salads to Mexican pastries and
a lot of Mexican
an area
food
where you can grill up steaks and shrimp and fresh fish. Another station where you can get fresh quesadillas and tacos and tostados.
I'm getting so hungry. You're talking about this stuff.
The other thing is they also had a ton of food carts around the property.
Oh yeah.
But they have, I forgot what they're called, but it's like a flat, a very thin waffle, and then you can spread either peanut butter or Nutella on it. Or both. And then they slice up like bananas or strawberries, and then they wrap it up. So it looks like, it's like a churro, but it's, instead of the like donut-y,
it's a wrap.
Yeah. It's a very thin waffle, and it was so good. And you can get that in the market, or they also had a food truck that gave them out. Yes.
The cart that was by the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have different carts by the main pool. When that one was Kayuko was the poolside restaurant that serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they had that set up kind of off to the side. On that side, and then the opposite side, they had other carts with fruit and other things. So they're
there's no way you would go hungry at this resort.
I was about to say that.
There's something for everybody, even the most finicky eater.
Yes, if you leave hungry or complaining about the food, I don't know what to tell you.
There's a pasta station. There's a cold cuts and cheese station. There's a dessert section, a gelato section.
Yeah. There was
yeah.
so much. It was so good. Every single last bit of it. At Cayuco, they had in the evening for dinner, they grilled up steaks for
New
you.
York strips and ribeyes and fresh salmon and
Oh my God, it was so good.
yeah, it was excellent.
Oh my God, I'm so hungry right now.
And then last thing we want to talk about is the service, which again was a 10 out of 10. There was not one rude employee we met.
No.
Everyone went out of their way, bent over backwards to make sure that we had the best vacation.
Yes. Yes.
And this video is not sponsored in any way.
No.
We paid for this out of pocket.
Yeah.
It was just such a phenomenal stay, and we want to share it with you because if you are considering going to Mexico, you should definitely check out Xcaret Arte.
Right. I agree. They I don't know. I think overall
They thought of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that we have any real complaints about it. If you want to get away and just have an all-exclusive resort type stay, maybe you could say the beach is not as beautiful as some other beaches, maybe up in Cancun, because everything in Riviera Maya is the beach is a little rockier.
Yeah.
The waves are a little rough. I don't know.
And it didn't help that we had a hurricane go through, which did not even affect our stay. It came through at night while we were sleeping. So the next day for about 8 hours, they did not serve alcohol.
Yeah.
It's a Mexico. It's
I don't know if it's countrywide.
It's like a statue in Mexico. Is that what you would call it? Like
a statute?
A
and not a statue?
Yeah, statute.
Yeah, I don't know if it's countrywide or statewide, but at the resorts, if there is a tropical storm, hurricane, bad weather,
they have to shut down the bars.
Yeah, they're not allowed to actually serve alcohol. Now, if you have alcohol in a refrigerator in your room,
which, yeah,
they have beers in there which they can replenish daily.
But
yeah, they don't want a lot of drunk guests running around.
Yeah, because if they have to evacuate the hotel, it's hard enough to evacuate sober people, but to evacuate drunk people would be a whole nother level. But I also wanted to say, with turn down service, they left you a gift every single night on your table or on your bed. These little homemade baskets that would be filled with all kinds of different Mexican candies and chocolates and caramels. They would put water and glasses on your nightstand. Like I said, it's an ecological park, so they really take recycling seriously.
Yes.
The water is fine to drink. It is filtered.
Yes.
You are provided glass bottles in your room every day.
Yes.
It's just it is a first class resort.
They try to not do plastic because for obvious reasons.
Except at the pools, you do have plastic glasses, but you don't throw them away. They wash them and clean them and sanitize them and use them.
So they're trying to be very ecologically cognizant and aware and friendly,
which I appreciate.
So the glass bottles in the room, like you said, it's filtered, so we never had a problem. We never got sick with anything at all.
And now this is twice, and in a year and a half that we've been to the resorts, and we didn't get sick at all.
They have the glass bottles in the refrigerator, so you could have cold water. They also have other glass bottles on the table or on the counter, and we usually drink that because I don't know, but never had a problem with that. It was really very nice.
They also left us a gift of
the wine.
The water bottles.
Oh, the water bottles, yeah.
Refillable bottles that we could bring down to the pool with us or bring to the ecological parks if we wanted to fill with water or our favorite beverage.
And there was a bottle of wine that they left in the room one night too. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, there really isn't anything to complain about. No. Now, I will say the price point, this resort is very expensive. It's on average, so it can be a little less or a little more of $800 a night. But you have to remember that includes all your alcohol. That includes your first class accommodations. And that includes all your food, the food trucks, the bar, everything is included. Right. And the ecological parks. So you have extra things that you can do besides staying at the resort. If you're staying at other places and you want to do some of these excursions. And Xcaret Mexico is the one park. I know there's Xcaret Mexico, the resort, but Xcaret Mexico, the park, is the zoo type park that has the dolphin experience and stingrays, snorkeling. So some of those things do have extra charges, but it's basically the zoo, so you can see a lot of different animals. And that was where you and Ariane in March of 23 had your little fish foot thing
Yes,
going on.
yes.
Which was funny because you did not want to partake
We
in
got
that this
the
time.
fish pedicure.
Yeah, that was funny. That was like YouTube gold. Anyway, but there's snorkeling that you could do there as well. There are boat rides that you could do there as well. Now, the day that we went, because of the Helene, some of that stuff was not available, but they do have that stuff that's an option. So you can go and do these things as well as just staying at the resort and staying at the pool and relaxing.
Yeah,
so it gives you an extra option.
If there's two of you going to these ecological parks, it would be on average about $300 a day.
Right.
To go to, in this way it's included in your stay, so you really have to factor that in. If you aren't the active type, if you're not really into doing those kind of things, then I maybe wouldn't recommend this resort, because they do add that into the cost of your stay in some way, because it's not free.
Even with that, it's just such a beautiful resort that I would say even if you don't do the ecological parks,
I would totally.
It's worth going because of just how beautiful it is. If you want just a building on a beach, great, fine, stay in Cancun.
Go to Cancun.
But if you want something that's a little more natural, beautiful, jungle, man, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, and the one thing we didn't have on the list was the entertainment.
Every night they had a stage show that was dancing and singing and band playing.
Now, we didn't really take advantage of that as much as we should have, because there was a different show every night.
And we did not realize that.
Yeah.
We thought it was the same show every night.
Right.
That was our bad.
Right. But they have different performers doing things at different places around the resort at different times of the day. When we had lunch at Arenal, which is the restaurant right there, kind of sort of on the beach on the Intercoastal, they had a mime, two mime performers doing this little presentation. By the main pool, they had dancers doing things. So they have different entertainment.
They just
at
show
different
up
points.
randomly.
Yeah. Well, not randomly. There are times set for that. I looked at the app. There is an app that you can download where it'll show you all that information, which we didn't really take advantage of. But they do have different entertainment and performers that show up at different times during the day, but all that is scheduled.
Yeah. And it's all included.
And the main stage, which is kind of pretty much right by the Casa de la Musica, there's the poolside bar there and the stage right in front of it. We did see the one show that one night, which focused on Diego Rivera and his artwork, but there are different shows every night. So, you have a lot of different things.
You would not be. You can be as active as at this resort or as laid back as you want to be.
Exactly.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So overall, I would say a big thumbs up for Xcaret Mexico and Xcaret Arte.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. So if you're looking for a new place to go, highly recommend.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so stay tuned, because our full resort tour is coming up and you don't want to miss it, because honestly, it's one of the most beautiful resorts you've probably ever seen, unless you've been to like Fiji, which we have not.
No, we haven't. And hopefully, as I put all of that footage together, the video turns out really well. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it will. So
don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because you don't want to miss any of the next Jen and Joe on the go action, because we're still posting our Mexico videos, and it was a good time, and I want you to come back and join us.
Yes. And I'd like to go back again. I would.
I think it's going to happen in 2026.
Yeah, because not
2025 is already getting full.
Yeah, we have stuff already planned in 25. So 26, we'll be back to Mexico. Yeah. So if you have options and choices and you're looking at Mexico, the bus ride from the airport to Xcaret is about 50 minutes or so. Yeah. So it's not horrible. Bus was very comfortable.
Yeah, they do pick you up in big, beautiful coach buses. Yeah. So and they give you drinks on the bus too. Yeah,
non-alcoholic, just regular soda or water, whatever. But just take a little snooze on the bus.
So you're taken care of from start to finish.
Yeah, just refresh, recharge the batteries, take a little nap. You get there, you're ready to go. Yeah. It was worth it, definitely. So, yes.
All right, thanks for watching.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.